So have you ever seen guys pulling off crazy parkour tricks on YouTube or read about amazing feats accomplished by some people? Like how Beethoven composed some of his most renowned work after going deaf, or watching David Blaine perform his magic tricks. We often look at these people and wonder if we could ever accomplish such superhuman feats. And we end up attributing such accomplishments to naturally born talent. But is that really the case? Are some people truly inherently better and more talented than others? Or can anyone become a world champion? Stay tuned to find out. Hey guys, this is Aryan and I'm back with a video as promised. Last week we talked about why you should not follow your passion, and if you haven't seen that video yet, I would definitely recommend you to check it out. I'll put up a link somewhere on the screen and one in a pinned comment down below as well. And if you're here after watching last week's video, or if you enjoy watching videos about self-help, motivation, business or entrepreneurship, then you should definitely hit the subscribe button down below. I'll be coming up with new videos every week on Sunday at 9 p.m. So this thought that some people are inherently more talented than others makes me think about this one time from when I was in 10th grade. I'd been playing guitar for 3 years on and off, and while I was not really that skilled, I could play some of my favorite songs. This one day when I was leaving my guitar class in the evening, I came across this guy who was playing really well. I'd never seen him before, so I went over to ask him who he was. And apparently he had just joined in a few weeks back and had come in for an extra practice session since he had a live performance coming up. I was absolutely blown away. This guy had been playing for just a few months and was miles ahead of me when it came to skill. And he even had a live performance coming up. And this brings me to the idea of strain and feedback. In this idea, let me dig a little deeper into my and this guy's approach towards guitar playing. My idea behind learning and practicing guitar was pretty simple. If there was a song that I really liked, I would go up to my teacher and ask him to teach me the song. Once I had the basic chords and lead down, I would then practice the song until a new song came out or I got bored of the song. On the other hand, this guy would figure out the chords and lead of the song he wanted to learn himself. He would then play it in front of the teacher, get feedback and act on it accordingly. This is a total contrast to how I practice. Once he had the chords and lead down, he would then focus all of his energy into perfecting the song as much as possible, all the while getting feedback from his teachers, friends, and even by himself by listening to his audio. And this is the basic ideology behind strain and feedback. He would put himself through mental discomfort by putting a strain on his abilities, all the while getting actionable and immediate feedback. This is why, despite playing for so long, I could just dish out a few tunes while he was ready to perform live within a few months of starting out. Now I agree. This story does not totally refute the argument that some people are inherently more talented than others. And while that might be true for a small percentage of world champions, it is definitely not the standard. Let's talk about chess grandmasters for example. Chess grandmasters have always been considered to be extraordinary human beings with superhuman levels of intellect. To give you an insight into the level of competence, Garry Kasparov, who is considered to be one of the best chess players out there, had a match with IBM's Deep Blue supercomputer in 1997. Although he lost the match, it was not easy. To be able to defeat him, the supercomputer had to analyze almost 200 million moves per second, and to be able to play a competitive opening, it drew from a database of almost 700,000 Grandmasters game. That's just crazy. And if anyone actually started believing that Garry Kasparov and other chess Grandmasters were actually superhumans, no one could deny that fact. But Neil Charnes and his team of researchers from Florida State University thought otherwise. Throughout the 90s, they surveyed over 400 chess players from around the world in an attempt to understand why some were better than others. Each player was asked, in essence, to recreate their entire journey as chess players. From what age did they start, what kind of training did they receive, how many tournaments did they participate in, and so on. This was an attempt to dig deeper into the 10,000 hours or the 10-year rule. Best summarized by Malcolm Gladwell in his book Outliers, the idea that excellence at performing a complex task required a critical minimum level of practice surfaces again and again. In fact, researchers have settled on what they believe is the magic number for true expertise: 10,000 hours. It basically emphasizes that great accomplishment is not about natural talent but about being in the right place at the right time to accumulate such a massive amount of practice. If you want to dig a little deeper into this, I would highly recommend checking out the book. You can find an Amazon link in the pinned comment down below. So coming back to Charnis's study, it dug a little deeper into the 10,000 hour rule. But not just by questioning how long did people work, but also what kind of work did they do. On studying chess players who had spent approximately 10,000 hours playing chess, they noticed how some had reached the grandmaster level, while others had plateaued at a more intermediate state. But this is in direct contrast to the 10,000 hour rule, right? They noticed the stark difference between how chess grandmasters and intermediate players approached chess playing. While intermediate players felt that going to tournaments and participating in such matches was the most important factor in getting better, chess grandmasters instead focused on serious study, that is, going through books, understanding different strategies and tactics, and employing help from teachers to help identify and eliminate weaknesses. And this was not just a small difference. While intermediate players spent around 1,000 hours out of the total 10,000 on serious study, chess grandmasters spend almost 5,000 hours. That is almost 5 times of what intermediate players spend. You notice how this is so in tune with the ideology of strain and feedback. That is, putting your abilities through constant strain and getting immediate and actionable feedback. All of this is totally opposed to how we perceive talented human beings. We attribute their skills to naturally born talent rather than accepting their harsh reality that most of them are normal people like you and me who are able to accomplish such superhuman feats because of the countless hours put into stretching and straining their abilities. So great, anyone can become a world champion. But how does this help us? It's not like most of us are going out there to become world-class athletes or musicians. It's more likely that we are in a field like maybe programming, writing, editing, marketing, or something along those lines. So how does this help us? To answer your question, this ideology can totally change the way you perceive your work and can actually help you become the best at your chosen field. Since most people don't really employ such strategies in their real life, if we are able to work how these chess grandmasters practice, we can definitely blow past all of our peers and competition into building highly successful careers. If you want to learn how to employ these strategies into your daily life, I would recommend you to subscribe to this channel. Next Sunday, I'll be coming up with 5 steps that you can inculcate into your work life to help build a wildly successful career and to become the best in your chosen field. Also, if you're interested in reading my source material, you should check out Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell and So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. I've mentioned the Amazon link in the pinned comment down below, so do check them out. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and smash the like button. See you next time. Ciao ciao.